And we're back.
We are.
Welcome to the Dead Reckoning Spindle.
I'm Jay Friesen.
I'm Brian Mattson.
No, you do the segment where you tell people what the Spindle's about. Not
The
me.
Spindle portion of our program, which seems to be popular, which is just surprising since it's just you and I just kind
It
of
is.
standing
No,
here
and in fact,
BSing.
we've gotten even more BSing and less planned. Like
Yeah.
we haven't even talked about anything. Like everything is
we
completely.
went into this season like we're gonna get really planned about what we do on the Spindle, and we've been less planned and we're more popular. So that's cool. Anyway, the Spindle portion of our program is where Jay and I talk about current events, news, life, stuff going on, and we try to do so through the lenses of our Christian faith. I'm having a bad hair day.
Are you?
Yeah, I really
It's
am.
kind of-
It's
looking
kind
kind
of
of flat.
limp and
Sometimes
flat.
you're spiky and you're not.
And then I woke up to every TV star's nightmare. I don't know if people can see, but I have a pimple on the tip of my nose.
Well, it's a
You
good
see
thing you're
that?
not on TV. I barely.
Well, good.
barely.
I'm glad. I'm hoping the camera is not quite as high def as I fear.
Our makeup artist called in sick today.
Our makeup artist always calls in sick because our makeup artist does not
Speaking
exist.
of makeup artists and TV performance, wardrobe has been pretty fun. As you notice, we're looking quite dapper.
Yeah, we're cool.
But no, the coolest.
You're
the
looking
coolest,
very fine today,
The
by the way.
coolest
You're
thing
very
about
hip.
this whole outfit you can't see on the camera. So if I can get a close up of my boot,
Okay. Yeah,
No.
I see your boot.
really close up.
They don't see your boot. Cameraman called in sick today.
Maybe because we don't have a camera. Anyway, I've been wearing these Arctic muck boots because it's 10 degrees. Well, this morning I took my mom to the airport at about 4:30 in the morning, and it was 10 degrees out,
Yep.
and the wind was like gusting at 30 miles an hour. It was terrible. So it snowed like
And
another
it's a foot
10
of
inches.
snow, yeah.
I know, it snowed like another 10, 12 inches over the weekend. And I've been wearing, my father-in-law got me these Arctic muck boots, and they're just, you just slip them on, and they keep your foot warm in like,
Are they like thermal?
minus,
Kinda-
yeah, they're like minus 40 degrees.
Oh,
Your feet
man.
will stay warm, but I'll wear them around all day. And they look great because you can pull your fancy raw denim selvage jeans over the top of them.
Yeah, my
And
selvage
they look-
jeans, I have a hard time pulling those over anything, you know. Those my raw denim $300 jeans.
You don't wear
Nope.
selvage. You wear salvage.
I wear
that's a bad
salvage,
joke.
not
But
selvage.
yeah,
By the
anyway,
way,
they're
people,
really
salvage
nice.
is a technical term.
I recommend
Arctic-
Arctic muck boots. They're really they're just super. You can slip them
Is
on
that the
really
name of the
fast
company,
and-
Arctic
yeah,
Muck Boots?
It's the Muck Boot Company.
The Muck Boot
And I've got
Company.
the Arctic Sports are the actual particular
So
model.
you're mucking out some horse stalls or something?
No, but they're just amazing just to wear around all day long. And I've got the ones that come up to my knees, and they don't actually.
Which comes in handy when you have a foot of snow.
Yes.
I came out of
They're
my
waterproof.
house the other day and started walking, and I went, okay, I thought we got a few inches. I went up to my knees. Say, oh, we got more than a few inches. Wow. It's been a hard winter here in Montana.
It's been well, we just hit another record, most snow in February
Yep.
in history.
In history.
We haven't quite hit most snow in a season yet, though.
We are
gotta
on
be
track
close.
for a record precipitation
We gotta
year,
be close.
which is good in Montana because later on this summer, everything. Yeah, your mustache looks fine. Later on in the year, what we worry about in Montana is drought and wildfires because a lot of times late August comes around, lightning strikes somewhere in the mountains, and you
Remember
get these
the-
amazing forest fires.
Remember the Great Yellowstone Fire of 1988?
I remember it well. I was in the 6th grade in 1988, and I remember riding my bicycle up Aronson Avenue, up in the Heights, to my friend Martin's house, and it was like nuclear fallout. It was incredible.
Yellow skies.
Totally foggy, only it's not fog, it's smoke, and little cinders were actually raining from the sky. I remember that so well. I also remember, I was very young, I remember when Mount St. Helens blew.
I do too.
And we had on our
fuzzy,
back deck,
but I remember.
on our back deck, we had a layer of ash, just like snow. It's just a layer of ash over everything. That was really amazing too. But right now we have a blanket of like a foot of snow.
Isn't there a Yellowstone supervolcano that's more active? You just were like,
Yeah, I just read somebody posted another article on how Yellowstone is going to blow up and kill us all, and I just can't bring myself to worry about all of that.
kaboom. But you are worried about something this week, though. You came into the studio ranting about gays demanding you bake them a cake.
Why we cannot have an episode of Dead Reckoning TV without talking about same-sex marriage. Okay, Walter Russell Meade, the great thinker actually, I believe the blog is Via Media on the American Thinker blog. Fine scholar, Walter Russell Meade, author of God and Gold. He did a piece where he threw in the towel on the gay marriage thing, and he said, "Look, conservatives, we've lost. We're gonna have same-sex marriage. So just give up the fight. It's all over." And he ended that piece so quaintly. I remember he said, I do foresee that we might have some problems on religious liberty issues. What do you do with conscientious objectors who say, look, I cannot in good conscience celebrate and promote gay marriages? What do you do with people like that who work in industries that are wedding related? Photographers, bakers. And Walter Russell Meade, in that wonderfully quaint piece, said, I really hope that the advocates for same-sex marriage will be very generous with their religious counterparts in our society and carve out exemptions for these people and respect their religious liberty. Well, you know what? We've gone a long way in this brief period of just a few months, because we have now gone from, how does my gay marriage bother you? How does my gay marriage affect you? To, shut up and bake me a cake. That's where we're at. So Arizona now, of course, has a law. It is a religious freedom protection law that isn't discriminating against anybody. It is codifying and protecting in law the religious liberty rights of Arizonans of faith who don't want to celebrate same-sex ceremonies. And all hell is breaking loose.
Well, and I think you brought up that's the right question to ask. Is this not really a gay lobby issue? It's a
religious
liberty issue.
Yeah, it's do we
here's a point that I made in a short, brief Twitter discussion I had yesterday. One of my Twitter followers asked me if I was into this whole thing, and my answer's like, no, it drives me nuts. But I said it's a religious liberty issue, right. And one person's liberties tend to come at another person's expense. But all this means in this case is that if somebody who's got a protected religious liberty say, I don't have to serve you if my religious beliefs disagree with your lifestyle. What that means is their religious liberty infringes on your ability to use them as a service.
Yeah, there's other photographers.
There's other bakers. There's a lot,
This is the issue. This is the issue. They want They want it to be painted as though this is about discriminating against gays. Listen, this is what this is about. Should they be allowed to have the government force you to give them a service? Let's be consistent with this. Are you going to ask a Christian web designer to design a pornography site? I mean, where does this stop? Where does it stop? Where the government says, oh, no, you can't have any religious convictions. The pornographer came to you, and you're a Christian web designer. You discriminated against him by not taking the job. We have religious liberty in this country for a reason. It's precisely to keep people from being compelled by the government to engage in conduct that they have a problem with. That is I'm sorry, we have a First Amendment for a reason. Congress shall make no law.
It's kind of protecting personal rights to a certain extent. You want your right to practice homosexuality or whatever relationship you want to practice. You want that right protected. Well, the people who want to practice their heterosexual rights based on their worldview, which is Christianity, they want that protected. But that means that you can't always have people coming together.
Find another baker.
Anyway.
That's find another baker. Don't start having the government coerce people. That's what we're talking about. In America, we're talking now about the government coercing a young photographer into taking a picture and celebrating and glorifying a ceremony that she has religious convictions against. I think that is wrong. That's what the issue is, and I'm tired of talking about it, but we can't not, because it is a relentless onslaught. And it's always in the news.
But it's a religious liberty issue. Don't get sidelined by people, going after the
It has nothing to do.
It has nothing to do with the gays. It's a religious liberty issue because it doesn't stop there. It's going to go somewhere else, and it, I don't want to go down that road. But anyway,
yeah, because we're tired of it. But we will talk about it when need be. So we've made our contribution. As you think about this issue, the issue is one of people having the free exercise of their religion in this country. That's what it's about. It's not about discrimination. It's not about hating. It's about exercising your religious convictions.
Okay. So that's what you came into the studio with.
Yeah.
I came into the studio with something way different. I came into the studio with my with some hilarity thoughts about my kids this week.
Cool.
My daughter
we
has
should have done
started,
a dad life segment.
Well, we can incorporate this down.
Okay.
My daughter has been running. And like most recently in like the last week
she's no longer just ambulatory. She is.
But here's the funny
a sprinter.
Here's the funny thing is she's kind of like an electric car. Okay, she's about 16 months old. She's kind of like an electric car. And if you know anything about the operations of an electric vehicle, there's no torque lag. It's on or it's off. Okay, it's like a go-kart. You're on or you're off.
You're not engaging.
You're not. Yeah, you're not gears. You're not ramping up RPMs or anything like that. Well, so that's kind of the way she runs. She's
walking,
just on
or off,
and then she's
bang.
just bam, one speed.
It's sprint.
There's no in between.
What you're telling me,
speed.
Jay, is that your daughter does not jog. She does not jog. She runs.
No, the funny part is just there's no like in between speed.
That's funny.
She's walking and she's on. So sometimes you kind of feel like you live in a cartoon. And
do her legs spin sometimes? And
yeah,
then
that's
catch
kind
up
of
and go?
the way it feels, And this was kind of brought home
Wile E. Coyote.
by the same. My wife was filming the kids running around church the other night at youth group last week, and catching.
They had a little. What did you feed them? I have a question about that. Before this episode took place,
the small groups do dinners for the.
So they must have had some kind of dessert that had a ton of sugar
what it
in
was, but
because the kids were just.
So she's filming Lily doing all this running. She's filming Lily doing all this hilarious running. Then all of a sudden the boys start running back and forth, and it made me laugh. It struck me.
It was funny,
like a cartoon. And watch this little clip.
So there you go. Jay and I threw together a little ditty for you. That was me on the guitar, just kind of came up with a quick riff, and the kids are zipping back.
She posted that on Facebook, and everybody kind of laughed because it was like, "Hey, this is like Scooby Doo."
That's great. I got a funny daughter story. My wife was
the one in the womb or the one out of the womb.
No, the one longest.
See how that? We don't know if it's going to be a girl or not.
No, we don't.
I actually asked to go to the ultrasound, but
I wouldn't let Jay come to the ultrasound.
She looked at me funny. I was like, I don't have to tell you.
Weird.
But
kind of weird. So anyway, my eldest was talking with my wife. They were driving in the car about future careers and things that she might be interested in. She's 11 now, and she really seems to like science. And so they were talking, and Tara was saying, maybe you could, if you have an interest in science and that sort of thing, the medical field is a really good thing to think about going into. And, so they talked about it back and forth a little bit. And after a little bit of silence, a little voice comes from the back of the car. Mom, where are the medical fields? You have to teach them everything.
That's
Assume
hilarious.
nothing. When you say medical field, they're thinking of a literal field somewhere where you go and practice medicine. Like it's a civil war. We got the tents set up, We're going to go out to the medical field. Is that great?
Oh, man, that's awesome. Tito's been dropping all sorts of things recently, but...
Dropping like as in...
At least he's not. At least he's not. Yes, that too. But at least
Vases?
he's not. At least he's not.
Priceless
Comments,
vases?
just funny
Guitars?
comments, just funny comments. But at least he's not dropping guitars.
Yeah, that's good. Speaking
or
of,
losing guitars.
Man, speaking, because United breaks guitars.
Or in this case, losing them.
Well, I didn't know this at the time I was going through this debacle, but Jay had to send me a link.
I'm sorry. I was trying to make you feel better. You're not alone.
United Airlines lost my guitar, my $3,500 guitar, and nobody seemed particularly interested in that organization.
Imagine that.
To find my guitar.
If you ever fly United, you get on the airline and it's like everybody's pissed off. It's like nobody wants to be there.
It's just not a great operation or organization. So they lost the guitar, and of course, the crew here in Billings was trying to contact and get in touch with the baggage people in Denver to see if they had it, and they wouldn't answer the phone. And they wouldn't respond to emails. They just ignored their counterparts here. I was like, what an operation. This is amazing. So the lady here gives me the phone number, the super secret phone number, to the baggage department in Denver. So I call up and just let it ring forever. I mean, I couldn't believe that the operator didn't come and say, there's no one here. I let it ring forever. And this guy picks it up, and I decided I have been so sweet and kind to these people, I'm going to just act a little bit irate, because I am irate. Yes, how can I help you?
Pissed.
Well, I'm a customer who's missing a $3,500 guitar, and nobody seems to care about finding it for me. Oh, certainly. Well, let me help you with that, sir. He actually was very helpful. He went into the back room. They had the guitar. You know what happened? Well, the new handle I made on my case?
Uh-huh.
The baggage handler ripped it off.
Oh.
So
the rescue cord?
Yeah.
The paracord
it's
rescue?
the hardware that I used must not have been strong enough. So he ripped it off. And so therefore the tag got lost with the handle. So rather than going, oh no, this bag no longer has a tag, let me get a new tag or do anything, he did nothing. I mean, I guess dispensed with the handle and sent the guitar to Timbuktu or something. So they didn't know where it was. Anyway, talked to the guy, and I did get my guitar back. Now, I was going through this whole debacle and thinking to myself, the guitar's destroyed. I'm never going to see it again. They have it in a freezing warehouse somewhere, and it's going to come back all cracked.
Yeah.
And so Jay sends me this link of this guy.
We're on Facebook. It's like 11:30 at night. And you're like, and I didn't even hear about it. Like, I saw you at church that morning, and you didn't say anything. You were playing a guitar, but you have like 7. So,
I have a few.
But anyway, I'm like, oh, dude, that's terrible. Like, I am literally torn up about this guitar because I'm a guitar player and lover myself.
It's amazing instrument.
So I decided to share this link with you from my wife's Facebook account because I was too lazy to get out my computer.
So it's a link from what's this guy's name? Steve Carroll or
not Steve Carroll? I forget. But anyway, United breaks guitars. It went viral a couple years back.
He wrote a song. United actually did break his guitar, and so he wrote a series.
Oh my God! They're throwing guitars out there.
He says, the lady says as he's on the plane, they're throwing guitars. Sure enough, they broke it.
Like a gig or something.
Yeah, they broke it. And he was never able to get it resolved. But so what he did is he wrote a series of 3 songs about United breaking guitars, and he made these really funny music videos.
I think he went on the Today Show. I think he was on the Today Show.
Yeah, he made these music videos.
And
so Jay sends me to this in the midst of my pain and suffering. And I'm like, is this supposed to make me feel better? It's very catchy. Because United breaks guitars.
Me equals ass.
Yeah, right there you go. So, it was funny. They didn't break the guitar. I got it back. It was a good gig. I was playing with my band. I play as part of a worship group that occasionally plays conferences, and we were at a conference in Denver.
You guys have never invited. Like, it's been forever since. Like, I haven't played with you guys. You played with us 7 years. One time. Yeah, 7 years ago. I've never been invited since.
Well, when the bass players suck, you fire them. I'm just kidding, man. It's a joke, man. You playing with us in North Carolina was fantastic.
You've lost 2. That was amazing.
That was a great show.
You guys lost 2 guitar players in the last couple of years, though, even for Sunday morning stuff. And
guitar players.
And I've never been asked to play with you guys. I mean, I'm not as good as you.
I will talk to the powers that be about that.
I got
anyway. You can check out.
I gotta get my wife out the door on Sunday mornings. I don't know if that's really that practical.
Yeah, you have to show up an hour early. That's kind of a drag. You can find our music if you'd like at peartreemusic.com. We have 3 albums out. Each of them.
Brian and I are actually going to sit down and record a record together.
Yeah, I think.
But he's also got a bunch of original material that we've been meaning to sit down, and I was going to be his engineer.
You realize I recorded that stuff about a year ago and did nothing with it in all of 2013.
Well, we'd planned to do something with it over the summer, and then life got busy. So.
Yeah. So we're going to do that. I'm going to get another album out in one of my at the turn on New Year's Eve. I sat down and I actually wrote out short-term and long-term goals, and one of the 2014 goals was to put out another solo record. So
on that note, as we come to a close of the Spindle, we got a couple really great announcements for you. First of all, Janet Somm with Verily Magazine is back on the show.
And it is I don't know about you, I thought that was a killer interview. I mean,
it was a killer interview.
Really good.
And I'm excited about what they're doing. I love the magazine, I love their work, and now they're moving in the really seriously cool digital direction, and she's on the show to talk to us about that. You're going to continue with your discussion on why the Bible is trustworthy and relevant on the commentary. But we have just we are going into production on a brand new 16-week, so fall and spring semester teaching series, half-hour teaching series on
the Apostles'
something
Creed.
Really cool. Ancient faith for modern times.
Yeah. Yeah,
Really
I've taught the
that.
course. I've taught the course at church a few times, and always get a really positive response from it. So we thought that we would go into production and produce a video series, and we're thinking it will come accompanied with study materials for small groups. And,
Sunday schools and the like.
Sunday schools and things like that, and we're kind of excited about it. We're in some distribution talks, and so we're very excited. So
cool. So we're going to start production on that in end of March.
End of March.
Yeah. And then we've got another one that we're planning probably closer towards the end of the year, but that'll be 2 studies. So I'm really excited about that. It's kind of cool to be putting out all this cool content.
We like content producing, and we're glad that you tune in to Dead Reckoning TV. This has been that's a fun Spindle. We actually
it's been a fun start to the season too. So check out the last couple episodes. You can find them on deadreckoning.tv.
Joe Baker of Save the Storks last week. Please don't miss that interview. Tremendous organization and ministry. And Jennifer Law talking about surrogacy the week before that. All over the news now.
She's on
all kinds of laws
CNN
in New York and
NBC,
Kansas
MSNBC
about tightening up the surrogacy laws in America. That's a
in
very
fact,
interesting interview.
I think the morning she came on our show, she had just done something with like CNN or MSNBC or something.
Yeah, she's getting some more exposure. So anyway, check out those interviews. Check out our Janet Somm Verily Magazine interview, and please heed our instructions on that interview to go to verilymag.com, get connected with them and what they're doing. Tell all your friends, get people. We really need to support them. They're doing a great work. These people are excellent at what they do. They should be rewarded for it.
And connect with us on Facebook. You can find us. Just look D-Reckoning TV on Facebook, D-Reckoning TV on Twitter, and you can find us on YouTube under Brian G. Mattson. And, of course, deadreckoning.tv is our hub for all of that. Please connect with us, like us, share us with all your friends and even your enemies, because
especially your enemies.
It just makes life more interesting.
Right.
All right.
Cool. That's all right.
I'm Jay Friesen.
I'm Brian Mattson.
And this is Dead Reckoning.